Friday here. And yeah, welcome to my top games of 2024. I just did my top retro games. You can definitely check that one out. But yeah, we're continuing the train. God, I hope that doesn't become my linguistics is going to be a grip in this whole video for sure. But that's okay. And anyway, this is not a perfect video, and especially any video that I have ever made ever in this channel for the 5 years of being here. No, and none of them are perfect. Well, actually 10 years because my other channel was terminated. But we don't need to talk about that. Yeah, top games of 2024. What could they be? Because let me tell you, I didn't play all the games, and most of these were PC games, and I guarantee you that some of these games weren't released around 2024. They probably were released any other day, any other year. But I'm just talking about it because, well, I experienced these games right now. They were left in the backlog somewhere in the freaking fields of my closet in the dark cave. I'm adding a lot of layers to this, but really though, these were basically the top games that I have experienced that were released recently or last year of 2024. But so here I am talking about it right now. And what could those games be? Well, it's not a perfect list. It's my list. In number 10, Fallen Leaf. Now, for this game particularly, it's a retro. It's pretty much reminiscent of Shovel Knight in a sense, but with a couple of characters that are, I guess, a bunch of kids that are, trying to get treasure or something. I don't know. I just enjoyed it because when looking at this game, it's simplistic. It definitely, works on my PC, and for sure that sometimes my PC could be a potato sometimes. Okay, it's not really. I need a better PC. I hope this is the year that I would get a better PC. But anyways, Fallen Leaf, yeah, this one is just a amazing Metroidvania, kind of like nostalgic platformer. I really enjoyed this game, especially with its NES, filtering that goes around, and also the characters you choose. Specifically, the pink haired girl, Petal, I think her name is. It's the bee. It's the little bee character. That bee is rescuing us from all types of stuff. Way better than Leaf over here. Leafy, not Leafy. Hey, no, like a freaking Leaf character. I mean, there is other characters. There's also other, NPCs that really does play their role very, interestingly, especially throughout the game. And you kind of discovered each world and also the stuff that goes around, just like how, doing missions and also unlocking different treasures. It's a gem that I feel like many should definitely experience, and they would say like the same thing. It's such a good arcade platformer, specifically like a new one, and we just got something that really, checks all those boxes that I enjoy about these retro platformers. And I probably play this more than, more the Metroidvanias, which we're going to get in a minute, but it's just simple. It's nice, and I just enjoy those kind of games. Anyways, speaking of retro styled games, we're going to go into another one, and this one is an RTS. You never expected that. Listen, there is a time where Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft, even though I played it, man, I used to play a lot of classic Blizzard games. Diablo 2, Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm. Man, I forgot about that. Jeez. Now I don't really play a lot of Blizzard because, well, I'm poor. Like, you think about to pay that much to play World of Warcraft just to have it in the good old days? There's a part of me that is yes, because it's freaking World of Warcraft. But also, where's Warcraft? And where's the other games that really does, like, Age of Empires and all those good stuff? Well, let me offer you a good fix. The Fertile Crescent. If you want that freaking Age of Empires challenge and feel and everything above it, or above it, yeah, or better, Fertile Crescent is definitely the game. I really enjoyed this. This RTS is pretty much one of my favorites. I played a couple of RTS games that were released in 2024. Yeah, this is just one of my favorites. It's the simplicity. It's like, different challenges. It's basically the way you strategize your, how you rule your kingdom or anything like that. That's the cool thing about these Age of Empire style games, is that you're figuring things out as you go on. And I really do enjoy that, aspect of what the game offers, especially RTS in general. especially for classic RTS. This is definitely reminiscent of it. We're talking about the freaking MS DOS days or something. And Fertile Crescent with game mechanics and each villagers, and also you setting up with different challenges and stuff like that. There's some neck breaking moments where I almost died or something. And the game is still hard itself because RTS games is just not easy. I mean, I'm not really the best of it. I don't know how anyone else does it, but man, with the amount of labor, I'm like, are you kidding me? But man, this game makes it all worth it. For sure. Especially if you're really hungry for that freaking like Age of Empires itch. For that Myth of Heroes itch. What I mean? Just like if you want something similar to that, like either like Age of Empires or StarCraft, yeah, Fertile Crescent, man. Now this game just brings it all together and makes us remember that time. Anyways, number 8 is pretty much, yeah, it's in the Switch, but I got a good experience on PC. And it's a game that was released like other years ago or something like that. And I know you gotta look at this like, come on, Vince, really? This year, this game was released a long time. I don't freaking care! Cloudpunk. Now, Cloudpunk for sure, when it comes to any game that has that delivery mechanic to it, yes, I could easily put other delivery games like the Mushroom Mail, whatever that thing is called. I forget the name of it. But also the, Mika in the Witch's Mountain. Yeah, sure, those games were nice. But actually, nothing beats a game because I always wanted to know what Cyberpunk is. I want to witness Cyberpunk. But what about a Cyberpunk game, but you're a delivery person? You know what? Yeah, give me that. It's Cloudpunk. I enjoy Cloudpunk. The stories are just mysterious. It is drowsy in these cyberpunk streets. How much do they rain? And also you're taken into the story aspect of it. Like what happened to the city, what's going on, where did you left off? Before you had the life here in this cyberpunk freaking dystopian universe. Like, how did you get here? Like, all these explanations and all these, sad stories that goes around this story, especially being a delivery person and how it's not your job to basically get into other business, but you can't help but be nosy. And there's a part of me where, like, what are you doing? What are you doing, main character? I forget her name. What are you doing? I still remember those moments of Cloudpunk. This game just delivers in all cylinders of it. No pun intended. But yeah, a delivery game with a dark sense of drowsiness with its story within, like, it felt so dystopian whenever you go to different locations and how sketchy, these business are and stuff like that. You gotta be careful. But I can't help but feel like this is kind of what I wanted. I really enjoyed what the story was and how dark it's willing to go, especially as a delivery game. Man, what a masterpiece. I really hope Cloudpunk 2 is somewhere up there in the sky. Anyways, number 7 is pretty much a game where I'm like, yeah, what's a good game that I was like, I can listen to in a podcast or something, or it was a game. In this particular game, I never expected it to be other people's favorites for sure. But when I played Core Keeper, and I mean, like, wow, okay, for a game like this, I kind of enjoyed myself going to dungeons and digging holes. But there's no like, you have a lot of freedom, but there's no like, okay, where to go or anything like that. But then you go deeper and deeper, and it's like, man, you discover these mysteries with such ease. Immediately, I'm like, yeah, Core Keeper, definitely one of my favorites of 2024. And other people will agree as well, because this game was such a good port, especially on the Switch. But on PC, where I played it, man, what a good time. Especially you taking out other enemies and digging up for different resources, and you basically make your own place or something. You're preventing certain things to get into your space as well, like creepy crawlies and slimes and stuff like that. And doing your hard work as to discover these areas. You somewhat make like a lead of a tunnel of your own in different areas that leads to more areas around, just where you're at. There's so much discovery in Core Keeper, and it's such a cozy, just very nonchalant, digging dungeon game. It's like the dungeons in Stardew Valley, but it's basically what it is, but throughout the whole entire game, and you live in one. So I really enjoyed that aspect of what the game gives, for sure. Definitely worth playing. Anyways, number 6 is a game that I wanted to play for the longest time. I played the demo, and now I played the full game. And even though it's like a series that I'm not really good at, especially within the genre, like I just enjoyed it very much. For a game like this, 100%. If it definitely deserves to be in this list, because I played demo like 2023, and here, especially in 2024, I got a good glimpse of what could it be and much more. RoboQuest, a game that I wanted to play. I had other games that are similar to this that I was thinking of putting it, like I Am the Beast, and also you have Dead Link, which a lot of people were talking about. But RoboQuest, yeah, nothing beats RoboQuest. This game is literally Overwatch. Well, Overwatch without the hot, attractive girls. Man, you don't see Tracer, Widow, or anyone in there for sure. But you don't need to. Why do you need to, huh? Why do you? Why not just have just a regular robot with no sexual intensities whatsoever? But yeah, I really do enjoy RoboQuest. It's just a good arcade. Our FPS roguelike. But it felt arcadey enough to make me feel like, yeah, this game is something that is so good when you're good at it. Actually, you don't even need to be good at it. The weapons it gives you is good enough to make it one of the best. And you unlock different robots and also unlock different classes. And as the story goes on, as you win more, especially how it folds all together. True, especially a non-grindy type of shooter. Like, this is definitely a game for the hungry ones. For the ones that just want a real good glimpse of some of that through their COD days, and they can adapt that skill into this game as well. And especially if you're good at Overwatch, man, this game just seems like it's just perfect that way. It's like Overwatch, but this time it's not an arena shooter. It's a roguelike shooter. So I can just definitely see that, especially through grinding the rails. It runs well. For my PC, as it compared to this and other big games, this one just seems to run well in my PC and also other PCs that are not even that expensive. So for that, I just had to give a huge score for RoboQuest. I really did enjoy it. Anyways, number 5, we gotta give it to some farming games here and there. And listen, I was gonna put some other ones, especially the tree ones. But actually, one of my favorite farming games was actually not one of those. It's Fields of Mystria. And if you played Stardew Valley, and if you heard about anything within the cozy game community, I think it's called, the farming game community, this game would literally be on top of their list. It was a time where this game was just everywhere. And even people that are not into farming games were so into it. And it's like, what? I'm trying to make sense of Core Keeper, but now here I am trying to make sense of Fields of Mystria. I gotta play it. And I did. And wow, this game, I want it to continue. I don't know what it is. The story of where you at in Fields of Mystria, especially in the Mystria, kingdom, whatever it's called, even though it's just a village. I swear it's taken a certain place with Sailor Moon looking visuals. I don't know what really the story could really be about other than just being with your own people. Well, actually, you're just helping one another. You're just a good neighbor to all of them, I guess. But yeah, it just with the dungeon mechanics and you romanticizing with the other characters. Yep, it can definitely be something that is reminiscent to Stardew Valley in many ways, especially its gameplay and visuals, but almost like a DLC, almost like a mod. So for that, I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it is. Especially how there's different ways to make money in this game. There's different ways to actually go about this game, especially listen to a podcast like what I usually do. But overall, this is one of my most played and most anticipated farming games that I played within the cozy game genre, because I don't know, it's the characters, it's the mysteries of just some of these characters, and also where you go in the game. There's so much that I want to witness and so much more. Literally for any game that is like this, I literally played one that's not even that good looking. I think it was this random Indian game that is just, based in the jungle or something like that. Doesn't look too crazy. And I'm like, man, I'm hooked to it. And especially, what is it, Myrtlewood or something like that is similar to like this, but with a lower like visual style, at least in my opinion. I can like people are addicted to that game. And I can see why. There's something about these games where it's like it's lifelike. It's everything. Like you making your own farm and you building that on throughout all the years and you're seeing these characters grow. It's like and for something simple like this with the visuals and it's it's something that is not very high rendered in a way. It's like it's all perfect. That's what a game like this should be, what an indie game definitely really stands out for the against the other ones is that its simplicity and also it's just harmful nature. It's like, man, I kind of want to live in this world. Anyways, yeah, Fields of Mystria, and also like the characters as well. Man, they're one of my favorites. Hayden forever, Baylor forever, and also just the other characters as well. Like especially the ones that are growing up, and the ones that definitely you see a lot of them throughout the story. Yeah, definitely belongs to my top 10. Anyways, number 4, Mini Shoot Adventures. This game itself was something that I witnessed within like a demo or something like that. A demo or two. Man, I remember playing the demo multiple times and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know I downloaded it again. But yep, here I am getting the game and I gotta say, just everything about it. Just I know I say this a lot about the game. Literally, like when Moonshoot Adventures came out, it was that, what is that? There was this segment in Sly Cooper in when Bentley was hacking, and this is literally it, but that was literally the whole game. It just reminded me of that, and it became one of my favorites just immediately. And I really enjoyed the Zelda mechanics of the game, the different, puzzles and different tunnels you discover, and also different bosses. Man, you get a freaking adrenaline rush when you go at each of these enemies. It's like, yeah, this is definitely worth it. The world that you're in, like what it gives you is enough. And I can't wait for more what Mini Shoot Adventures really gives because it's such a good, especially for someone like me that loves shoot 'em ups. This one is a shoot 'em up open world. And it does it well. 10 out of 10. Just 10 out of 10 all around. Number 3, I was thinking of putting this on my top tier list because of the story. But you know what? I didn't really finish it or anything like that, but it still deserves to be here. And that's Fruit Bus. I remember playing the demo and hearing about the story and hearing about what happened, and I'm like, well, that's not funny. I was like, it's like depressing, it's sad. It's like, man, literally, like, what happened? What happened to the grandmother? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And it's not supposed to be a sad story. It's supposed to be a heartwarming story. And it does the whole heartwarming aspect very well. Because you deliver fruits, you run a business, and I really do enjoy those aspects of those types of games. What really matters is that the other characters and what they see through your grandma. And they don't even see her as a perfect person or anything, even though she's like passed away or something like that. No, like what's more of this game, and that's literally in the middle, that's not a spoiler, like that's literally in the beginning of the game. Like, yep, your grandma is in like a jar, which is a Dern, I think it's called, and you take her around, and it's almost like she's within your spirits helping you out, even though like she's not necessarily alive, but she's still with you. It's just in the jar. Just hang in there, grandma. You have a seatbelt. You're like, man, how come no one else is sitting next to me when I'm trying to get to the area? Oh yeah, my grandma's here. It's like they can just stand and behind the freaking bus. But yeah, you run a fruit bus with your grandma. That's not here. Okay, man, that just got. I don't know what it is, but it's like, what in earth is happening with this game? I don't know if they're trying to make it funny or something, or they just try to make light of it. It's like, man. That's heartbreaking. But yeah, and also you have the mother that doesn't support you, which is like, there's so many aspects of this game where it's like questionable with its characters. They're so difficult. But really what makes most sense, or basically you understanding who they are, you give them a smoothie, you give them a salad, and they start explaining. Their emotions come out. The whole idea of food coming together really does bring it home to this game. And not only you collecting fruits and making your own ingredients, and also just run your business. There's also a point where you make sandwiches in the game where I'm at, and that's pretty cool. You discover different islands. It's basically an open world, but also you go to 3 worlds and you deliver and pretty much do your job. But also you can actually help the villagers and help their jobs, and pretty much they are invited to your party, a farewell party, which is kind of like the objective of the whole game. And it does it very well. You discover the characters just through the food that they deliver, and also especially how they remember your grandmother as well. But you running the business, there's this lighthearted, very sad, very emotional sense of it where it's like, I feel like this game definitely is worth it. Definitely deserves to be on the top list for sure, because it does that very well. It didn't need to go there, but it does it very well. So with that alone, especially how many parts you can attach to your bus and how many, how much money you can make throughout within the game, especially going around the island, and also the ingredients and how you get them. There's so many aspects of this freaking business simulator that is so much more. Man, and maybe it's because of the story and everything, but just that alone, I'm like, yeah, this deserves to be here. But you know who else deserves to be here? Number 2 spot. This one is definitely the top tier game that I was like never thought would happen. It definitely made sense of why Hollow Knight is needed, but also this game is beyond needed too, because it's like, man, well, I guess this is what I came here, because it was surprising to play this, because I didn't really enjoy Animal Well or other games that are like this, the Deviator, or just like the other Metroidvania 2D platforming type games or anything. Fallen Leaf, as I talked about earlier, was a very good one because it just reminds me of something. But you gotta really bring it in such a high quality. And this game is beyond high quality for what it gives you. We're talking about Nine Souls. What a game! What a freaking like it's what they say, Sekiro. I know I played a couple games that are like Sekiro, like that crab game that I didn't really enjoy because it was so freaking hard. But this game was also hard. But it was hard enough, but also easy enough to at least pass through it. Thank goodness for that. Okay, because I guarantee you this game had some challenges, but the bosses and also you attacking them felt satisfying, and it wants you to continue, at least for me, to actually defeat some of these bosses. I enjoyed the art and visual of this game. You're in a certain world where it's like very like a high-tech side of China, or within the village, in this weird world where they have like thousands of cults almost, and you're just going at them. And it just does it well for what it gives within the game, especially how it's adapting a lot of elements that Hollow Knight has, where a lot of these games has, but also within the mechanics of what Sekiro or some other Dark Souls game, Dark Souls type of game has as well, combining it into making this masterpiece with the music and the visuals and that, even the hacking abilities as well. There's moments where I find myself like, wow, they actually really did this well in this game with this mechanic, but I never thought they would do that well, but this game just shows you throughout all those possibilities that this is such a high quality premium game. You definitely get what you like, what the game is worth, get your money's worth of just experiencing Nine Souls in such an amazing way. And pretty much, even though I'm not really finished with the game, it was enough for me to enjoy, especially the amount of content and amount that it gives you. There's so many parts of it where this game could easily seem so addicting because of just the clicks and bezels that it throws in there that makes it somewhat addicting and also somewhat captivating, especially with the story and also what's really going on in the world. The sense that you try to make. Definitely worth it. I can't spoil much of it, but for the visuals and everything, man, this game is just high premium, just all the way through. Definitely deserves to be here, and for many people, it would actually be their number 1. But what's my number 1? I never thought this game would ever come. And listen, for any kind of 3D platformers that I like the 2D platformers. But the 3D platformers, you can't beat them. You just can't beat them, especially if you find the good ones. And I found a good one. But also, if you support this one, then you're supporting it for a good cause, because it goes into the kids' hospital. And for this game, man, it was personal, but also it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. but all towards a good cause, and I really want to see more of this game. Even though it's just something for kids or something, well, I think it's something for everybody. We're talking about Castle Coast! Man, this game is so good. I love Castle on the Coast. This game is just, it's, I know it's like, there's a lot of 3D platformers that are so like this, okay? Yeah, whatever. But come on. For a game this hyper, I mean, oh yeah, okay, number one all the way. Like the way the freaking, like this giraffe just weighs like a freaking feather. It's a giraffe. They're supposed to be freaking heavy, you know? But no, apparently they're not. They're just like gliding and flying like a bird. Like the moment that I hit into the tutorial, I felt the same way of like Ratchet and Clank, the same way of certain Zelda games, where I'm like, okay, something here clicks. And I like it. But also you do a bunch of tricks from here and there? Are you kidding me? Like, where's Sonic now? Man, this game is just top tier. And also, like, would I say the characters are good? The characters were actually in ways played as real kids. But also, this game, this whole thing, if you support it, it goes into a good cause. This giraffe is basically the mascot of the hospital that it's based on. But if you support it, all that money goes into that hospital. So if anything, I did a good thing for this game and also for the hospital as well. Especially how I advertise it. You're welcome. But no, seriously, I enjoy Castle on the Coast. Like, you know, it's sad, you know, especially within the ending and the story of what it's really about, and there's parts of it where it's heartbreaking, but it kind of makes sense. Just kids are difficult. You know, and when playing this game, it reminds me of how I especially organize my Discord or my community, you know, especially having these many kids in this channel. You know, it is what it is. When you make a lot of webtoon content, you just have a lot of kids that are just into that. But then it just makes me realize, like, man, sometimes we have to be mentors, even though we can't speak, even though we can't say it. Because just this giraffe is silent. It's a mute. But it's almost like a mentor to all these kids that are just fighting each other. That is just like not getting along. And you're there to fix it. Just out of nowhere, you're there to fix it. And sometimes you gotta be like that. Sometimes when you're an adult and you just see kids, they're arguing. Like, who's gonna be there to, you know, help them get along with each other? Hey, you know what? You can do it as well. And sometimes that is not easy. And sometimes you know, like a lot of times, I feel like that needs to be needed. Because it teaches that sense of friendship and lesson of it, you know, throughout, especially what these kids are going through, you know? And I just love the open, just heartwarming world that it shows. There's nothing really scary. Even though you go into the somewhat scary worlds and somewhat serious worlds that you're in, especially attacking enemies and stuff like that, it doesn't really go too dark in a sense. I feel like in a good amount of cartoonic darkness, but overall, this game just hits all cylinders of just what makes a good 3D platformer. The tricks, the you know, the climbing mechanics that you do, the glitches that you can do, the amount of craziness that you can do in this game, like the experience of just like high flying platforming mechanics is everything that this game throws. I will never forget that freaking like DNA level that it throws you in. Like, you're in the heavens and you're flying all the way up. Your goal is to go all the way up, but you go through these different like landscapes and level stuff like that, and you have to jump in the right timing. So satisfying. Just this game is so satisfying. And you can also drive in the platforming. Like, the platforming is just like everything. Like, this is a dream game. If I was a kid, I would find this game one of the best for sure, and I can see that because it just throws you a lot of stuff into it and it gets crazy. And so far, I enjoy it now as an adult. So other than that, yeah, this game is just needed. It's just something that is needed. It's just, I don't know. It makes me smile. It really does. And that's what it means to me. If a game makes you smile, there's nothing beating that game. It should be your best favorite game ever. And anyways, that's my top 10 best games of 2024. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment on that jazz. I'm looking forward to more upcoming games of 2025. One love and a peace, and God bless.